Hey everyone, hope your day is going well. We are back with another reaction. We're going to check out Straight Lines by Silverchair, an Australian band. The first time I'm going to be reacting to them on the channel, perhaps. Probably the first time I hear a song by them. This was a Patreon request by Bob. Thank you so much for this request and donation. I hear this was one of their last hits before, I believe, the singer called Daniel Johns left to deal with maybe some mental issues and struggles. I can relate already. Straight Lines speaks to my imagination. I almost said I've done many of them. I mean,
Breathing from a hole in my lung, I had no one but faces in front of me, racing through the void in my head to find traces of a good luck academy. Ooh, ooh, Sparks ignite and trading for thought about no one and nothing in particular. Watched the sickened socket and drove. Resent nothing. There's goodwill inside of me. Ooh, wake me up low with a fever. Walking in a straight line, set me on fire in the evening. Everything will be fine. Waking up strong in the morning, walking in a straight line. Lately I'm a desperate believer, but walking in a straight line. Something I'll never forget. I felt desperate and stuck to the marrow, invisible to everyone else. On a sex change and a damsel with no heroin. Ooh, ooh, wake me up low with a fever. Walking in a straight line, set me on fire in the evening. Everything will be fine. Waking up strong in the morning, walking in a straight line. Lately I'm a desperate believer, but walking in a straight line. I don't need no time to say. There's no changing yesterday.
yeah.
We keep talking, I keep walking in straight lines. Wake me up low with a fever, walking in a straight line. Set me on fire in the evening. Everything will be fine. Waking up strong in the morning, walking in a straight line. Lately I'm a desperate believer, walking in a straight line.
Yeah, that was a great song. Great voice Really great voice. I was caught off guard a little at first because I wasn't expecting his voice to sound like that, but it's really nice. And the beginning of the way his voice sounded kind of reminded me, it's a very different voice, but just some aspects of it, because I don't know the terms how to describe this voice, kind of like a little bit sultry, a little, this not raspy at all, but there's a little, I don't know how to say it, in English. I'm gonna have to pull that English isn't my first language, get out of jail free card. But it reminded me of the vocal sound of Gary Jules, Mad World, that version of Mad World. And then some of the message even, made me feel that way in terms of seeing all the faces in front of me, racing through the void in my head, overthinking things, find traces of a good luck academy, which is a great line, by the way. I always felt I've never went to the Good Luck Academy. I dropped out. Man, I should have stayed. So the great writing. And then, of course, sparks ignite and trade them for thought. You kind of have an inspiration or a great idea, and then you overthink it, and it kind of turns to ish, right? You are your own self worst enemy, your own critic, and then it's like, oh, I have a great idea, and then you destroy it by overthinking it. Because, yeah, I can't do this. I love the build-up of this with the bass and the piano.
Sparks ignite and trading for thought about no one.
Here in this part, that melody, it really struck a chord the way he was singing that.
About no one and nothing in particular. Watched the second socket and drove. Resent nothing. There's goodwill inside of me.
Nice, really great voice. And then when the drumming came in, which was really awesome, it really took off. Great song. And some of the lyrics really scream addiction to me. But, for me being in recovery, it's always easy to make that connection. But since I've heard about that he was dealing with mental struggles, and then straight line, walking in a straight line, I've always felt I walked in straight lines in my life, but then I zoomed out. I figured out it was zigzagging in a straight line. It was straight for a while. You wake up, of course, straight line, you think of police stopping you, have to walk in a straight line to prove you're sober and stuff. And of course, in life, you just, want to walk the straight and narrow, which metaphorically then is not always the case, especially for us, degenerates. I'm joking. Not really. And then, of course, wake me up, lower the fever, that type of thing, makes me think of withdrawals, if you ever had them. Yeah, you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy, and then, set me on fire in the evening. You're in that vicious circle, right? Waking up strong in the morning. Sometimes you have strength in the morning to say, let's not do it again. And then you set yourself on fire again in the evening, or you just wake up and start immediately. That's the kind of thing that I was thinking of, because you kind of black out at night and then you wake up, you kind of, I'm still this. You load up again on whatever substance you are addicted to, maybe multiple of them. And then he's like, yeah, let's go. That type of thing. And you're just stuck in that circle that you can't get out of. And he said, I felt desperate and stuck to the marrow, invisible to everyone else. Again, another line that gave me that feeling when I listened to Mad World. You feel isolated and misunderstood. And then he said, I'm a sex change and a damsel in distress with no heroin. I don't know what he means with sex change. In this context, maybe a transformation, maybe an actual sex change. I don't know. And then damsel with no heroin, which is a great line, is almost like a double meaning, right? Damsel in distress. You need a hero or a heroine to save you, but there's nobody here to save you. You kind of are left to your own devices. And also, if you have no fix, actual heroin, you also have, So maybe the sex change line is to head into the damsel line, right? Okay, there's some great writing in this. I love it. Good stuff, man. Desperate believer, but walking in a straight line, keep moving on, keep on trucking, even though it's tough. And maybe you're in this cycle, but you kind of have to move forward anyway, trying your best as you can. Good stuff.
Wake me up low with a fever.
Man,
Walking in a straight line. Set me on fire in the evening. Everything will be fine. Waking up strong in the morning. Walking in a straight line.
yo, I gotta stop listening to this. I'm getting flashbacks. Great song, great introduction. If you have any other recommendations for Silverchair, please let me know. Thank you for being here. Peace.